Hey, welcome back to the Virtual Investor. In today's video, we're going to talk about U.S. foreclosure activity during the third quarter of 2024. We're going to get this data from ATTOM data. They put a ton of great articles and data out there that they share in the housing market. So we're going to talk about three phases today in this video. First is foreclosure starts, then foreclosure filings, and then ultimately REOs. Now, when we talk foreclosure starts, that's the front end of the funnel, if you think of it that way, where a borrower essentially gets a notice of default for a missed payment from the lender. So that's the front end of the funnel. And during the third quarter of 2024, we saw about 87,000 U.S. properties with a foreclosure filing. And that's down 2% from the previous quarter and down 13% from a year ago. And ATTOM, what they're seeing, at least their CEO, they're predicting a decrease in foreclosure starts and repossessions. And ultimately, moving forward, they expect these levels to be consistent or pretty low compared to what it was before 2020. However, there's going to be variance depending on where you're at in the country. Now, the first chart I want to share here is regarding foreclosure starts. And here you can see it's around just about 87,000 per quarter that we're seeing. This chart goes back to 2005, and then you saw the quick spike here during the 08 to 10 Great Recession era. Then it trended down, and then the pre-2020 COVID, we're hovering around 100K. Again, we haven't got back to that level. It's still running slightly below that. Some drivers could be banks working with lenders for loan modifications. Some lenders that maybe get into financial distress have had a lot of home appreciation over the last few years, so they could sell the house and maybe downsize, thus not losing the property toward foreclosure. And then, some people in that situation too, if they have an assumable mortgage, that'd be another way to sell the property incentive-wise to someone with like a 3% mortgage on the property. So I think those are some of the reasons why we can continue to see this trend down to low compared to what it was pre-2020. With regards to filings, this is more of I just talked about the starts. That's the more uh, notices that you get in the mail that you're late. The foreclosure filing process here is the legal actions actually taken by the lender. And with this chart here, again, it goes back to 2005 up until today. We see the increase during the 08-10 Great Recession era, trends down, and then basically essentially goes to zero during 2020 with the COVID time period, and then slowly comes back up to the last several quarters now that we've been around 100K with new foreclosure filings. Again, lot less than it was around the 150 to 200K that we saw prior to COVID, and a lot of the same reasons why we haven't seen an uptick that we saw pre-COVID levels. And again, that's due to home prices appreciating, so sellers in distress could sell their property, they have equity in it, things along that nature, along with the loan modifications out there. And then ultimately, the end of the funnel is when the property goes through the entire sheriff sale process, the foreclosure process, and then the bank takes it back. And these are the real estate owned or REO type properties. Similar story. Chart goes back to 2005 until today. See a huge rise in REOs during the 08-10 period, decreases during that period, and essentially goes to zero during the COVID 2020 time period, and then never fully rebounded. Again, a lot of the main reasons that I talked about earlier in the funnel. However, I am seeing an uptick in REO properties on auction sites. So I think lenders are more inclined to put them up for auction than just purely list them on the MLS. As we continue to bid more and more properties through online auction sites, we have a slight increase in inventory when I'm going back quarter over quarter, year over year in our analytics. So that's some of the process of starts, filings, and REOs, and where the trend is heading and where it is currently at. Now we'll end this video with just what's the average days to complete a foreclosure. And the average right now is around 815 days, greatly increased higher than it was in previous years. And a lot of the increase here, it varies by state. You can see some states here to go through the foreclosure process takes several years, whereas other states, like these ones here in Texas and Michigan, is a lot faster to process. But overall, on a national basis, you're seeing an average days to complete foreclosure increase than they were just a few years ago. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments section. Happy to answer them. And got some value out of this video, please smash the like button and make sure you subscribe to our channel. Thanks and have a great day.